The spell's been broken and it's time for a review, but we only have a little bit of time to do it. So this is our quick review of Gargoyles Awakening. So the game's an action points game. Each player takes on the role of one of the gargoyles, and then you take them, and then you are able to do certain actions depending on which one you are. You also will have cards that can maybe do other actions, but for the most part, you're spending action points to do certain things. And the things that you're going to try to do will change in each of the different missions that you have. It kind of reminds me of the game Horrified, if you've ever played that, where you take on a character and then the monsters or bad guys have their own little mission, and you go around trying to use your action points to defeat them or accomplish other tasks. It's not that super complicated of a game, and it kind of feels like an IP cash grab, but I do like the production value of it enough to not be like, oh, it's just straight up an IP cash grab. There's enough here to make it kind of a fun game, but it's not a super fun game. It's not something I'm gonna play forever, but I do appreciate it because I grew up watching the cartoon, so that nostalgia was there, but I still felt like when we were done playing, I just wanted more.
Yeah, the nostalgia, when you look at the box art, when you look at the art itself, even the little minis, you're like, ah, yeah, that's the Gargoyles. However, as time has passed, I realized like, you know, I kind of forgot what the story or the lore was. I mean, I knew they woke up at night and there was a bad guy and, you know, the story changed here and there, but I was talking to Kenny, I was like, I don't know if I ever like finished it. Like, did it ever end? Like, was there a season finale and then they like broke the spell? Like, how did it ever happen?
With this game, the more players you have, the easier it feels. So I feel if you're only playing with one or two players trying to defeat it, it may feel more difficult than if you're playing with more players, and that could change your perspective of it. So depending on if you want a really difficult game, play with fewer players. If you just want to play it and just kind of have fun with the IP of it, play with more players. If you're playing with kids, probably play with more players so that more things can happen and they can actually defeat the bad guys before the bad guys kill them all. So I would say that it's fun for all ages if you're playing with the right amount of people.
Yeah, one of the lose conditions, I think, for all of the missions is if at least one team member dies. So obviously, if there's a lot around and let's say rolls just get unlucky or the deck for the villains is just unlucky, yeah, I guess you could lose as a team very easy. I really did like the asymmetrical, or when you pick your own gargoyle, how they have their special abilities that you can actually help the other players too, even if it's their turn. So that was really fun because you could decide when to help them.
There's a lot of game in the box in terms of setting it up. As you can see, there's a big city, lots of cardboard. You piece it together like a puzzle, which makes taking it apart and putting it together kind of a pain in the butt. We didn't even take it apart after we were done playing before we did this review because we knew we were gonna have to set it back up. So it can be kind of annoying to try to take it apart, put it in the box, put it back together. And you can't really play without building the city. When you go up, it takes more movement to go up than just going if you were going straight down the road or something. So you have to build the city. You can't just play without it. So it is a little bit annoying.
I like how you can kind of pick different gargoyles each time you play, and that little aspect of games, I really love just learning like, oh, okay, when I'm this person, I gotta focus on this, and when I'm this one, I focus on this more because these are the cards that I have.
I enjoyed the implementation of the IP. I felt like it wasn't just a cash grab. Obviously, you're going after the brand of people who enjoy this and the nostalgia, but I do feel like they put in a little bit of effort to make it a little bit more fun and kind of tell a story. What did you not like about this game?
I would probably say, besides the one versus many, the other three missions were just kind of a different way of saying something, right? It's like, make sure you defeat these two villains, but in order to defeat them, this has to happen. Sometimes it was like, oh, this like sub character has to be flipped over on his good side. Other times it was like, oh, you have to make sure that you roll a lightning on this character 3 times in order you can like defeat this other person. So it was still a defeat this person or like get these discs from them or something. So it was like a slight nuance. I don't think it like varied it up too much.
The thing that I didn't like is how much it reminds me of Horrified. It's basically Horrified with the different IP on top, and I like the Horrified monsters more than this, as much as I have the nostalgia for this cartoon. And after a while, it kind of gets repetitive. Horrified gets kind of repetitive after a while too, because there's only so much you can do. Same thing in this one. For the most part, it's, all right, I'm gonna move my spaces, I'm gonna get close, and now I'm gonna roll the dice and try to attack. I'm gonna roll the dice and try to attack. I'm gonna roll the dice and try to attack. And so, very repetitive.
Overall, I think it was a nice walk down memory lane. You move around the board as like your favorite gargoyle that you might have been in the past and just kind of use their moves and abilities to your advantage. Given the similarities of a lot of the missions, to me, I don't know if it has a lot of replayability.
Overall, I really enjoyed playing it for a few times, but after a while it did get stale. So I'm glad that we got to play it. I think if you like Gargoyles and you want to play with this IP, definitely play it and experience it. It's worth playing one time. We're probably not going to keep this in our collection. And that was our quick review of Gargoyles Awakening.
What'd you think? Are you going to play this game before you turn to stone? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny, and go party like a board gamer.